All right, and we are live. Welcome to episode 137 of Player Life. Uh, today it is Tuesday morning here in Tokyo, Japan. Today we have Command Your Confidence on the show,
What's
and
up?
yeah, and we're gonna talk about how to build confidence when approaching women because even it seems to be a question I get a lot, even from from very successful men, like there's guys out there that are high value, they're successful, but they still don't have the confidence to make an approach. Um, and it's kind
Exactly. I hear you.
of so what's up, Robert? Been a while. How you
Oh,
been?
no, been kicking ass, man. I've actually been really doing a lot of stuff with my channel, and I'm just taking it in a lot of directions, just bouncing back some ideas with some of the other people in the group here, and yeah, and I'm really excited because like next month I'm gonna really start doing some more. Like I'm gonna give myself more challenges. I think I told you about this a while ago. Like I'm
Right.
gonna give myself challenges on the channel. And one of them too is going to be approaching a certain amount of girls. I'm going to document that, vlog that for a while, which is going to be fun. And then I want to, because I want to show people that the process of what it's like to go through a goal, and like, just, so you like, okay, so you have an idea of what you want to do. Now, how do you take action, and how do you just like, kick ass and everything? And also, I just wanted to show like that you are going to face some setbacks and challenges while you're working on something. So I want to point that out. And then when you have those setbacks and stuff, you can just like think of new ideas and ways, and think differently to like until you push through. And I'm going to document that just to show people what it's like, and so they can apply that to their lives too as they're working on a goal, or maybe it could be working talking to women, or working on a business venture, or just trying to change something different about the way they think, develop a good habit, maybe like cut back on the drinking, cut back on smoking, whatever, something like that. So just want to show people that it is possible to do it, but you have to put in the work. And that's how it is when you want to be confident when talking to girls. You've got to put in the work. Would you
Right.
agree with that?
I would agree. I would agree. Confidence, it sounds corny, but confidence is key. It
Mm-hmm.
really is. I mean,
Exactly.
it's not the only thing. It's not. I'm not going to pretend here. Oh, you look like shit and dress like shit, and you're just confidence is just going to win the game every time. No, we're seeing you need confidence on top of looking your best and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, exactly. And even when you're teaching people how to approach women, you're going to need the confidence to do that. But get this, when you even if you don't have, your confidence is not like 100%, and say you just go out there and take like the smaller actions and then move those up to bigger actions, that will help you become confident too, because when you overcome something that is holding you back, that you have anxiety about, and you actually go out there and do that regardless of the situation, you're going to feel damn fucking good about yourself.
yeah, so you're kind of facing into your fears.
Yes, exactly. And that's
Mm.
one of the key things that like us as guys have to do if we want to become confident with talking to women. When I, I was, before I even worked with a mentor, I was just like going to bars, and, I had good confidence from alcohol. And even my conversations were still kind of half-assed. They weren't really, I would say, like deep conversations, or I would say engaging, or attractive conversations. But I did take the step to go out there and talk to the girl. But I decided like one day I got went on the dating apps. I got really bored with the dating apps and stuff. And I got a funny story to tell you about the dating apps later. It's funny as hell. Um, but got really tired of that. I got tired of the bar, just talking, getting drunk and stuff, and just wanted to talk to ladies. And I thought to myself one day, like, what can I do to make a change in my life so I could, have the confidence to talk to women in public places or at bars, and have really engaging conversations and convey like sexual confidence with them too. And so I found a mentor, and he gave me some baby steps, and I like the term baby steps because they're small steps, kind of get me out there to kind of take the action and be more comfortable with doing that, and we moved to more advanced steps. And it was very simple. Like, I mean, first of all, it's just like when you go out there into like the pub, say you're just kind of want to warm up to people. Like he says, just go, first step for a week. He had me just when you go out, just say hi to people. That's it. Just say hi to people, guys, girls, whatever. Okay, just to get you used to saying hi to people. And I remember I think it was my second or third week into like my mentoring with him. Like, okay, we're gonna go approach some girls. You can either use a direct approach, which go up there and say, "Hey, I find you very sexy," or an observational type of an approach, or like, so say I was at a grocery store and I saw a girl like looking at some. Maybe people would like look into her card and stuff. I'd be like, so it looks like I'd say like something. It looks like you're to start a conversation and be like, it looks like you're gonna have a party here. You got all this alcohol and everything. And I did say that a couple times.
Okay.
And eventually from there, like I was taught like, well, okay, how to, close for numbers. So I, started, doing number closes. And that was cool, but I got really frustrated because I was getting a lot of flakes, and and I realized that I was just getting new to this. Like when you're starting out at anything, whether it be talking to girls or business venture or changing any habit in your life, like it's not going to be perfect at first. Like you're gonna yeah, we want the instant results. And, if you want to become confident in talking to girls, you've got to realize that it's a long-term process and I realized this too, because I was used to thinking a different way for the past like 35, 30 years of my life. And I had to change my mindset and perspective on things. And even when you go out there and take the action, it's very cool because like it shifts your mindset away from the way you were taught and the way like you were raised, and you're just like, wow. But sometimes too, you kind of seep back into your old ways of thinking, and that's what you have to be aware about when you're trying to become confident with women. That you're going to have moments where you're going to strike out a lot, and you just got to be able to be aware of that and be like, hey, don't let this frustrate me. Don't let your negative thoughts like keep you from taking action again, because if you do that, like you're just gonna like most people will just give up because they just don't believe that it's possible.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. Why do you think guys get so nervous about the idea of doing a cold approach? Well, what is it that most guys find so intimidating about doing a cold approach? Because let's be honest, the vast majority of guys don't do it. They don't.
Well, I mean, okay. I have a lot of things. I had a lot of things, but I just and I'll go into a few of them. But I'll give you the one big one last that I realized in myself about a month ago. But a lot of it has to do with stuff you hear on the media and stuff about talking to girls and stuff. That kind of hindered me at first. And the fact is, like, I don't know. I just like it just didn't seem like it was like normal to like do it during the day, because like it's you're used to shows being people were going on the dating apps and stuff, and and going to the bars. So but you know what the main thing is though, like, and I realized this, listening to a show here, and it was sorry, my computer blinked out for a moment there. But it was all about like on mindset and everything, and the way you think about yourself. And I realized like a lot of the reasons why men have a hard time approaching girls is because they don't like believe that they can do it. They don't, they think back, they don't think they deserve a girl. They pedestalize women.
Right.
And
Okay.
sometimes it has to do with what you were I thought about this too, about what you were how you were taught, like how to treat a woman and be respectful and stuff. So it's a lot of like your old like the old behaviors and things you heard and stuff that kind of keep you. But most important is the way you think about yourself. Like a lot of people, like, you know, can't handle rejection. And going into being, if you want to be confident with talking to women, you're going to have to realize you're going to get rejected a lot. I mean,
Oh,
you're
you're
not going
gone.
to get the
Oh
number
yeah,
one time.
it's guaranteed. Like the reality is, you'll get rejected more than you're successful. That's guaranteed. Like there's, I don't care how good you are at game. It's impossible. You know, it's just not possible to you know, get a 100%. That'd be
Right.
insane. It just wouldn't be even a
Yeah.
gig Chad, even a Giga Chad, like, you know, perfect guy, you know, perfect approach, you know, 100% confidence. Chicks are gonna reject, you know, they're gonna get rejected. You could get rejected for 1,000 reasons. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Different reasons. So guys overthink it, right? You
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Oh, and you just said another thing, and like another thing too is like I think because we want to, you know, be able to get the girl and do, you know, kind of get with her. I think we overanalyze what we're gonna say instead of like real, you know, just being ourselves. Like, you know, I realize too, like I'm learning more right now, like because I did a lot of like stuff that people taught me how to like do, you know, when I told you about the observational direct openers. I went to an RSD seminar too. And you know, I didn't really, it's weird because I didn't really get much out of that. Like the guy said, like, you seem to be very confident with talking to women. That's because I was working with that other coach I was telling you about while I was going to the RSD boot camp. But I realized like the more you go out there and you socialize with women and you deal with the rejection and don't give a damn if a girl likes you or not, eventually you're going to, you know, develop your own authentic way of approaching a woman. And this is not only going to help you with women, but it's going to help you in other, you know, areas in your social life, whether it be like, you know, networking events or, you know, just social circles and stuff. You know, I realized that because I actually run like a meetup event group, which for single people. And I just, you know, I realized, well, heck, I can, you know, I've learned just to be more confident in front of like groups of people who I don't even know, and I'm hosting the event. And it
Right.
prepares you for a lot. So, I mean, that's what you're going to realize. But like I said in the beginning, it is a process. It's, you know, like it's going to take, everyone is, it's going to be different, but it's going to take time.
Right. You know, so what do you think? So what do you think about guys that, you know, they work up the confidence to you know, try it out, you know, and then they're not successful and they give up? What would your advice be to guys like that?
Well, hey, I would say to them, like, okay, if you really, really want it, like, you just, you don't give up. Like, I went through periods of time, like when I was getting used to this. I mean, where I felt like giving up, and I felt, but yeah, I realized I was just being too hard on myself. But you got to look at it like you got to change your perspective about it. Like, you know, I'd say I learned just to like look at it as a, you know, you're new to talking to girls. You're not, it might take you like a couple months, might take you a year before you start getting some real success. And that, you know, so just look at it as a learning process, have fun with it. And just like think about that. You know, don't think that you're, you know, doing this just for the women, but also have grown there with the mindset you're going in there for yourself to be a more social person and to develop your confidence. So you know, don't make everything about the woman.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no, when you make it all about the woman, you know, you're essentially you're pedestalizing the woman, and we all know that's a big turnoff for women. A lot of guys think, you know, the more they compliment, the more they, you know, worship a woman, the more you know, the more pleased the woman's going to be. But
Mhm.
in terms of, you know, attraction, arousal, it's a big turn off for a woman, because a woman wants to feel like they're, you know, getting with a high value guy, you know, a guy that's like confident and, you know, like they're getting something. They don't want to feel
Mhm.
like they're giving to charity, you know. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh, like a guy comes up begging and complimenting and worshiping her feet. It's like a big really big turnoff. And that's why it's not, you don't want to be too generous with your compliments. You don't want to sound like you're worshiping them, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
No, correctly. And that's one of the main problems that I had like before I was like worked with a confidence coach, because I always like had to like I just felt like I had to be a gentleman and everything, and I wasn't being myself. I was actually lying about who I was to the lady to put on this fake persona, because I thought that's what you had to do. And boy was I wrong on that. And you gotta realize that in order to become more confident, you got to learn during this process to be more authentic, and not like censor yourself. I mean, don't be creepy about it, but be okay with who you are. Don't feel like you have to talk about this or take this action just to please the lady when you first meet her, because I mean, it's just going to come off as fake, and like ladies can see that.
What ladies definitely don't appreciate the fakeness. That's for sure. They'll very
Mm-hmm.
much resent that. Um, yeah, so it's definitely better to be more genuine. It's
Mm-hmm.
a complicated. It's a balance. It sounds. You have to be confident, but you have to be genuine. It is. Really need to. At the end of the day, it really boils down to practice. Like I know, because it is kind of complicated, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not. You know, at the end, the easiest advice you can give someone is just to get out there and start doing it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah,
like
you got to go out there and do it and like learn from your mistakes. You're going to make plenty of them. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've made mistakes myself, but that's how you're going to get better, by going out there and taking action. And you can't let fear hold you back. You know what? And even when I'm sorry, I'm swearing. I don't know if you want me to swear. I'm getting into
oh good man. I don't give a shit. I'm already
when you
censored, man. Fuck this
Oh,
shit.
okay, cool, man. So when you fucking feel like you're afraid and shit, like I mean, there are times too where I was afraid. And it's weird, even when you do this, sometimes you still kind of get back into that, like fear habit. It's so weird. But you just got to just like do it, man. And like it's weird because it's like you know how you go on a roller coaster when you do it, and you go down the hill, it's like a big release, and you get this like jolt. That's what it's like when instead of being afraid and not doing it, and maybe regretting not doing it, if you go in there and you go and take the action and do it, it's not only are you doing something good for yourself, and who cares if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But sometimes you might have, who knows, that if you're able to put on a good front and you could get a number, but you can still like say to yourself, hey, I was a man and I fucking kicked ass today because I didn't let my anxiety and fear hold me back. I went out there and I took another step towards in the right direction in my life to get to where I want to be.
Right. And it only takes one success to kind of turn things around, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
start doing their game, you start making approaches, you get it, you start getting a success, so you can get your successes as in, getting numbers. But it's good when you start off, but in reality we all, like, we know getting numbers, it's only the first step. It's like I compared it to, like, it's like getting a sales list. When you get a girl's number, all you're doing is getting them onto your sales list. It sounds like very
Mm-hmm.
pragmatic and crazy, but really, like, we're trying to get laid, right? That's what we're
Yeah,
trying to do.
right. It
So
was funny. I was telling someone in my department yesterday. We looked at getting phone numbers as leads. It's like I never knew you took that in a marketing type of perspective.
it is, though. It's like all they are is, it's just another lead, because, and you have to see it like that, because these girls are insanely flaky. They are. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get flaked on. Like, you get 10 numbers. There's not a. I don't give a hair who you are. You're not smashing 10 out of 10. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying no one has ever done that, but the chances of probability are very, like, not on your side, you know? So
Yeah.
that's why as men, if you want to live the player lifestyle, you have to get leads. You have to get out there and get leads.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be counting your chickens before they hatch. It can't
Mm-hmm.
happen. Like, you're an idiot. Oh, you go out there, you get a number, you're like, you feel you'll get that kind of high, especially when you first start, and that's fine. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
You get a buzz out of getting a number, but in reality, you know, it's like it's nothing is guaranteed. Like it's
Right.
not
No.
guaranteed. It's like it's just you got a number, good job, well done. Next, now get more numbers. Like okay,
Mhm.
get more numbers because it is like sales. I'm sorry to be so pragmatic about it, but that's the world we live in. That's the truth. Like if you
Yeah.
go around, you're one of these nice guys, you make a genuine approach to a girl that you really like how she looked, thought she was hot, you enjoyed the interaction with her, you might have talked to her for 15 or 20 minutes, and she'll fucking ghost you. You know what I mean? That's she'll like she had no intention of ever messaging you back. She was just like, yeah, I'll give this guy my number, whatever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Chicks are like that.
Yeah, they are, and you're going to get a lot of that, and you just got to learn to deal with it. I just got I got a lot I'm going on at the moment, so even if I look at as a girl, I love going out with girls and getting numbers, but if a girl flakes, I got so much shit going on. It's like okay, it's I value my time, and so I mean that's another thing I recommend is too just not focus on going out there and approaching women, getting numbers but find something else that you're passionate about that's going to take up your time because it won't be as frustrating when it will help you deal with that frustration when you're on your path to getting good with women because you have another focus and you're not just solely focused on women too. And
Right.
I realized that has helped me a bit too. Just kind of dealing with the whole the process and just kind of keeping my mindset in check. Just have something else to focus on.
Okay, what do you think of Matt's comment here? Matt W says it's like a muscle, but instead of working out with heavy weights right away, tens, you start off chatting up average fives and work your way up. You feel less awkward and build confidence in time. What do you think? What's your opinion about that?
Well, it's not. It's weird. It's weird though. I actually, when I first started socializing with girls, I did kind of go with the fives, and I kind of worked my way up. But no, in that. But my mentor, he kind of encouraged me. Is don't just approach the fives. Go for the hotter ones. Because I mean, you got to. So and I realized too. Yep, you go for the hotter ones because those are the ones that you fear the most. So just fucking get that fear out of the way. Just go approach those tens. You may not get a number, but you can go do that right away too. You don't have to start by the fives and work your way up. And
Right.
there and also remember, don't put a woman on a pedestal because you're pedestalizing her by labeling her as a 10. And that's just going to build your anxiety. So let go of that belief that don't put her on a pedestal, and that's going to help too. Just go in there, you go and give it your best, and you show her why she should be going out with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of the street game, the whole point of cold approach is to get girls that you find attractive, um, yourself. It is kind of
Mm-hmm.
subjective, even with close friends of mine, I'd have disagreements about, who cares, but we one friend of mine might think a girl's a 10, I might think she's a 7. It's very
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
subjective.
It's subjective.
So like, what do you find attractive? Like, that's the main thing. You know what I mean? It's like a five for me might be a 7 or an 8 for someone else. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of it is a little bit subjective. So the whole point about cold approach is going after what you want. Like what do you find attractive? What are you into? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, there's no doubt about it that it just has to be done. Unless you're going to be work using dating apps and all these other avenues are forms of control. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like what dating apps. Even the way we're herded into nightclubs and bars, they're all forms of control, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you do cold approach, it's like it's an expression of freedom, right? What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're doing something that many people aren't doing. I don't know. It's weird. I hear that I could, when someone says women get hit on all the time, like I can picture that at a bar or online, but I rarely see that much like during the day, which is weird. And so like I think it's different. Like you're just kind of out doing your own thing, and you're kind of on the you see this beautiful girl and you want to create that moment with her and everything, and see if you can take it further. And so it's a different situation. I think it's less distraction than being at a bar or nightclub, because the girl is going to be out there with her friends, and that gives you a chance to have a face to face, with the girl without any distractions. And yes, sometimes girls will be out with their friends, like when in the public places too. But I mean, you could still work on that by addressing both the girl and the friend. I've done that a couple times, when I was in Seattle. Like I had never done that before, by the way. Before I went on this, I was working with my instructor in Seattle. We were doing the daytime stuff, and I was just like, whoa! I didn't think it was possible, but I actually was able to close like one girl while talking to her and her friend at the same time. And he just said,
Right.
just go for the number of the girl that you like at the end of the conversation.
Right. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Matt W says getting numbers is easy, and just like sales, you may close 2 of those 20 numbers setting up. So, the reality is, the more you improve as a man, the higher value you become. The more confidence you build, the more red pill you become, the more you understand, intersexual dynamics. You know, the probability hopefully increases. That's the whole point of learning game, right? To increase probability. Do you
Mm-hmm.
agree with that?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you might start off, when you start off doing game, um, you know, you might close, you know, you might approach, 20 women and get zero numbers, when you
Mm-hmm.
start off doing game. Then
Exactly.
as you get better, as you learn more about your fashion, you increase your fitness, your confidence increases, along with, the better you look, and you know, you'll get 1 out of 20, then it'll, 2 out of 20, 3 out of 20, 4 out of 20, 5 out of 20. It can really go up. You can get high numbers. You're never going to get 20 out of 20. I'm not saying, like, again, I'm not saying it's never happened, but it's like very unlikely, right?
That'd be a
Laws
lot to handle at once.
20 out of 20, it's like boom, like wow, that's a good that's a good day, right?
Yeah,
Um,
you got 2 weeks full of dates right there, 3 weeks almost. Or you can do them
yeah.
all like in a week, maybe. You just have to get the right scheduling done.
Matt W says setting up meetups is the hardest part. What do you think about that?
What do you mean by meetups? Like for a
I,
date or?
Dates. I think he means dates.
Well, no, it's just very easy. Like I just normally follow up with the girl. Like if I meet her at a public place, I do this even online too. But if I meet her at a public place and get a number, I will just text her later on. If I get a reply, I'll just say, "Hi, this is Rob. It's awesome meeting you. It was nice. Whatever it is, this is Robert from here. It's awesome meeting you. Whatever you want to say." And then if she replies, then I set up the date. I let her know. So when are you? Let's plan to have a drink. What is your schedule looking like for this week? Or you can have it, or say, if you already have a date and time in mind, you can say like, oh, let's plan to have a drink at this time at this place. And then like
Yeah,
she's either going to say no, or she's like, I can't, I got plans. Or she'll give you like, she's like, no, I'm busy. I can't this day, but how about this day? That's normally how I do it. And then, and if they
I think
don't, mhm.
I think he means. I'm pretty sure he means like that. It's not. He means that it's like it's hard to get them to meet you. It's not. You get me? It's like
Oh, okay.
flaky. You're gonna deal with that. Like
Yeah, you're gonna deal with that.
you have your structure, right? Like you're saying, you have your date spot. You're trying to arrange it, but there will be flaky chicks. It's just something you'll have to deal with. I mean, it's you stick to your plan.
Mhm.
As you were saying, your plan. You know what you're doing. You know, um, but it's dealing with flaky chicks is going to be it's part of the game. You would agree with that?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I actually deal with that too. I mean, it's not some
I
girls
mean,
are,
everyone's going to deal with it.
I mean, some girls just want to give you their number because they don't know how to say no, so they're going to do it and just not call. But you can't let that shit get you down. You got to just keep on pushing forward. Like, at times though, I did get frustrated and I just felt like quitting, but I just said, no, I want to get good at this. It's all about this is how it is. Like, you're not going to like get, like he was saying, it's highly unlikely. Like you're gonna get a lot of flakes, and you're not even like most of the girls you talk to. Some of them are gonna have boyfriends, or some of them, are just not interested. So it's just gonna happen. But the more you freaking do it, the more you're gonna increase your odds of having a date with someone.
Oh yeah, not only a date, you increase your odds of like getting laid, man. Like
Yeah, yeah, that's the most important part right there.
having some fucking good times. Like, wild things can happen. Anything can happen, really. I mean, you fulfill your fantasies. It's just like, your sexual fantasies, whatever it may be. That's what it's about. Matt, again, with some good comments, says it's amazing how many decent guys don't even talk to anyone when they go out, but their buddies. Like there's a lot of good-looking guys, a lot of even high-value guys, and maybe they've been blue pilled. Maybe they don't have confidence, and therefore they don't get laid very often. Kind of wasting what they have. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, and that's true, man. Like, it's just I don't know. This is a whole part of like the being out there in the field and stuff and taking action.
Right, and there's this idea that all it takes is if you're a good looking handsome guy. Even if you're a good looking handsome guy, do you think women are going to come to you? Like,
No, you gotta go after them. And
exactly.
I will say too, like you can be a good looking handsome guy, but if you don't have the game and the confidence that's there, it's
a
gonna,
waste.
like,
It's
women
like
are
you
gonna.
have the tools, but you're just not using them, right? It's
Exactly.
like it's not coming to you. Like, you could be an average looking guy with solid game and get way, way, way more pussy than a guy that's like 6'6", like jacked as fuck. You know what I mean? But he has
Yeah,
no game.
exactly.
Like, you could be completely average, even in all aspects of your life, except you understand women and you have game, and then you can get pussy. This is the. I just don't think a lot of guys understand how tenacious you actually have to be a hardcore kind of player. You have to be very tenacious. Like, you have to not, you can't be giving up. Like, you have to actually want it. Like, if you don't want it, like, how much do you want it? That's it. That's what it boils down to. How horny are you, basically? Like,
That's true. That's true.
how high is your sex drive? Because if you have a high sex drive, you're gonna go out there and get it. You're gonna do it. Like, you're gonna want to do it. But the
And
unfortunate thing is a lot of guys are like, medicating it by either with drugs or alcohol or internet pornography, man. Um, I'm not some Puritan that's like, oh, don't ever watch it. But I'm saying, like, if the more you do things like that, the less it's a release valve. You're a pressure tank. You're a man. You should be a pressure tank. You should be boiling up with anger and rage.
yeah,
No,
right.
I'm kidding, but I'm kind of serious. You know what I mean? You like, when you drink, when you like smoke, when you jerk off every day, like, you're releasing the pressure, and then that's like, okay, maybe I don't need to approach her or whatever. I'm fine. I'm chill. You get me?
Mhm.
What do you think of
Yeah,
that?
no, I got you on that. Yeah, I do think that can be a distraction sometimes too. Yeah, you got to like really want it to, like, if you, like I said earlier, if you really want it, you go after it, and no matter how scared you are talking to the girl, no matter how frustrating it gets, you freaking fucking get the courage and do what you got to do, and you figure out a way to make time and way to like overcome some of the mindsets that you have about yourself and the emotions that you're feeling, like the fear and everything. And that's what makes it like exciting. Like I said, just like taking all this action and just like challenging yourself to like do new things and go through the interactions, even though when you feel like shit and you don't want to fucking do it, you just fucking go and do it anyways. And like it's a big, like you feel like, I don't know, I think it helps you grow more as an individual too. Like you're gonna see that confidence in you. You're gonna be like, when you go and take that action, you're like, yeah, I can like fucking do it. So yeah, then might have not worked out, but if I could talk to this girl, I can go talk to another one, do the same process, and eventually something will like happen where you'll get some solid leads. And that's why I said the more you do this, the more you'll just develop your own authentic style of so when it comes to approaching girls, you'll be more comfortable being you. And that's when like the real action happens, when you can just be more comfortable like being yourself,
Right.
because like you're not putting on like a false persona, like, and as long as you can convey that to lady, because ladies can tell when you're not being yourself. They can tell like when you're not confident. And so the more you action, like it's gonna suck at first, like just doing this, like it's, yeah, you want to get the success, you want it to be easy, but the more you do it, and even despite all the rejection you go through, the better you're going to become at being more confident and being more authentic, to the point where you're going to be attractive in the ladies' eyes. And it's a process.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Colin says it's like building muscle by lifting weight, except you're building courage, inner strength, pushing against the fear. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it is interesting. Why, like, I'd love to know. I had a hot take about why men actually have a fear of cold approaching, and it doesn't really make sense because women are not physically dangerous. So but my hot take was that in the past, for probably for a long period of time, over evolutionary, over maybe a long period of time, it must have been dangerous somehow. It must have been dangerous to cold approach women, like
Mhm.
for other tribes members, or when they're hunter gatherers, you could have suffered like consequences from other males in the group or whatever. You know. It
Yes.
must be something along those lines, because why would men actually have a fear of it? When women are the weaker sex, they're
Well, I
not
mean, it's just,
physically
but
dangerous. Like it's why would men feel so nervous about
yeah, I know. Well, like I told you, I realize it's just because you're pedestalizing the woman. You're making, and you feel like you have to like get winner, like she's the prize, when you should just think about you can't pedestalize her, and you got to just like fucking uh, go in there and just like show her why she should be with you. And a lot of guys don't realize that. And sometimes too, it's just a lack of skill. Like they just don't know how to approach the girl. They don't know what to say if they have a conversation with her. Um, and I mean, I can give like I mean, I was telling you what I was doing, like but this is what I just did when I was first starting on this. I mean, you can do this too, but eventually you'll learn to like get rid of this icebreaker. But I just kind of, when I go approach a girl after I deliver my comment, I'd be like, "Excuse me, I was just over here like doing this," or say I was just like grabbing some coffee or something, and I go, "Hey, excuse me, I just was over here grabbing some coffee, and I saw you, and, like you're beautiful, like fucking, I won't say fucking, but you're sexy, your eyes are like dark hair caught my eye. I just had to come over and talk to you." And then I used to like from there, and I'd introduce myself, and I'd say, "Hi, I'm Rob," and blah blah blah. And then I started like, I mean, one simple thing you can do when you got it, and this is the gonna get, this is not recommended because Mac, you didn't like it when I said this. You can add, but you told me something different to say a while ago. But it's just, I like to go like, "So what do you do for work?" That was when I remember that. But then you said talk about fun stuff, so I started talking about fun stuff, and just listening to what the girl is saying during the interaction. I am finding out more questions I can ask based off her response. So she talks about, "Oh, I like to go to art festivals." I'm like, "So why art festivals? What is it that you find appealing to about art festivals?" And then she
Right.
might say this or that, and you can dig even deeper. So that's just like it takes. So when after you open the girl, like listen to what she is saying, and by being a good listener, you can pick things from what she's saying and ask her a question based off that. And I've always like my mentor taught me like when I first was working on this was to figure out the as the who, what, when, where, and why, like kind of like the deeper questions. But right, right now I've been transitioning into more authentic stuff and being me because I've realized after a while, like I was just using a line just to help, get me out there and socialize with people. And now it's weird because I host a meetup group for singles people and everything. And I hear a lot of people like they'll be like, "So what do you do for work?" It's like, "Oh God, I don't want to hear that one." It's weird because like right now I don't have like I'm to the point where I still do my opener. And I'll do like I'm more direct with my approaches. I compliment her based off something in the way she looks, and I just whatever pops in my head at the moment, I just say it and I throw in a little bit of humor. I show her my funny side, and then I go for a short close. I always keep my interactions like I had a problem with this at first because when I'd open girls, I'd talk to them for like 10, 15 minutes, and then sometimes I would knock a number and like I wasted my fucking time.
I mean, yeah, I think that we talked about that before. Yeah, it's on. You don't need to spend that much time. It depends on if you're going for the same day close or not. How much time do you have on your hands? But honestly, sometimes you could spend 20 minutes talking to a girl, and then at the end of the 20 minutes, she's not even going to give you her fucking phone number or her. You know what I mean? It's like. This is why you got to get good at reading the body language, reading the air, understanding what's up, and this is what you can learn over time. You learn this, your brain gets trained, like when you're dealing with more women, and then you start to add two and two together. You're like, this is what happened when I got laid last time. This is, it's worked out so many times for me that now my brain understands like automatically. It's trained itself to put two and two together and understand, read the same signs and signals from all the girls, all this big group of girls that I've had success with, like from A to Z. Like I've cold approach to sex, and there's similar, there's similar traits, there's similar body language, and there's similar it's over time. This is how you learn, and this is why you got to get out there, and do it.
He is right, and if I could jump in here for something, I'd like to say, I noticed too, like the more you do this, you will begin to, like you mentioned with the body language and like the way women's response when you're opening them, you'll realize, well, which girls are interested or not, because like you can read the body language, you can hear the tone of voice, you'll be able to understand, okay, based off the conversation, the way how she's interacting with you during the conversation as well. I mean, sometimes though some girls might be a little shy and they may not say too much, so you can just kind of figure out ways to kind of keep that going. But I mean, still don't like push too hard. I mean, if you're still getting a little bit of resistance, then it's just not worth your time. But another thing, important thing I've learned too is like, and shout out to Afi Kingdom for this one. But he always taught me the importance of going out there and just kind of going to get a vibe for what the girl's like, and if you go in there and you two are vibing, that there can show you a lot too about how the girl's interested. Because like, why the fuck would you want to like hang out with a girl who you don't even vibe with?
Right. Yeah. Like at the end of the day,
it's going to be horrible.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like when you're doing a cold approach, all you're trying to do is break the ice. And like it doesn't really matter what you say. Would you agree with that? That's my opinion. That's the rule I go by. Like it's how you say it, and when you open a girl, all you're doing is it's just an icebreaker, right? Just need an icebreaker, right? It can be anything really, just as long as it's not crazy. Like, hey, bitch, fuck you. Even that could work.
No.
Like, but I mean, like it could work somehow. You could make it work somehow, but it's like. Yeah, you go, oh no, I'm just joking. Don't worry. And then all of a sudden you're in this interaction with them.
Yeah, no, that's
You know what I
right.
mean? But I wouldn't recommend it. But I'm just saying that's just an example. Like, pretty much you're just trying to break the ice, But a lot of times I'll say anything. I'll say something like just randomly, you can ask them about the shop. Sorry, do you know, like, what's this place? Is this like a ramen shop? Is this like a steakhouse? What is this? Have you been here? And just like that. Then she's like, yeah, I was in there. It's good lunch. And then you're like, oh, cool, cool. By the way, I like your style. It's pretty cool. Where'd you get that shirt?
Mhm.
Or where'd you get those pants? And then she's like, oh, I got them in Zara or whatever. And then you're talking to her, and then that's where more, you know more refined game comes in. You can, it a lot of my interactions, to be honest, are very short. How long are your interactions these days? By the way, there's some dudes tripping out on your shirt. I feel like I'm on
Oh,
LS.
yeah, I noticed that. Like, it kind of gives you like a freak out thing. I noticed that. I wore this striped shirt. I was like, oh my god, it kind of looks like it's like like an LSD feel to it. So, assure you guys, it's not LSD. Don't worry about it.
Maybe they're
But,
tripping out. I don't
but what question were you asking? I'm sorry.
It was about what was it? What I can't remember. What was it? It was
Oh, how long
about
were my interactions?
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Your interactions. Mine are about a lot of them are around 2 to 3 minutes. How about you? Like when you're making an
Well,
approach.
you know what? Sometimes I've kept them anywhere. I can do it. Like, so I've been like very direct. So I'll just, sometimes if I want to, I'll just like, if I'm busy, I got to get somewhere. Like, I will do it. This was what I've been. This is kind of like another one that's more of the challenging key because it's like you're being really direct with the girl. You're like saying, "Hey, sorry, I know you're busy." So I normally go in and I say, "Hey, I know you're busy shopping and everything, so I won't take too much of your time." Introduce myself, and I just tell her the reason why I'm over here. And it's Leslie. And I tell her that, hey, yeah, I thought you were beautiful, and I'd like to take you out for coffee. And I use like what is it? Steve the Dean Williams' approach thing where he goes, I like, you just like tell the girl why you're there, then you go, and you're like really direct, like I want to take you out for a drink to get to know you in a more intimate way. So I did it that way, and I close like and then get out the card and stuff like that. And so it's been short like that, but it's weird because sometimes I end up getting into short interactions afterwards, because I give them out a business card sometime too.
Right.
Even if they
I will
say
say,
that, huh?
I will say this when you're coming from that kind of direct compliment, you want to come from a more dominant perspective, approach. Like you don't want
Yeah,
to be complimenting from below, right? Because it's kind of important, right? You don't want to
yeah,
be like, oh,
like,
you're so beautiful. Oh, you're lovely. Oh, like it's more like, oh, you're hot. It's more like,
no,
oh,
it's
you're
just it's
like,
just more of like, so if I'm direct like that, it's more something I notice in the hair, like eyes, or so like you kind of have, like, I'll say you have the appearance of like a rock star that's really sexy, like something like that. I mean, I'll be direct like that, but I don't say anything like you're fucking gorgeous. I just I'm playful when I do it too. Like I'm not like I'm just like that's one of my strengths. I realize too is I have a great sense of humor, and so I can be playful with that. And, girls can catch that sometimes. I haven't had, and it's weird though. This one lady one time I did that to her at a freaking grocery store, and she's like, "Well, I'm married, but I really appreciate what you're doing because a lot of guys don't do that these days. They don't approach girls in public places. So sometimes when a girl says they're married or some shit like that, they're like." Thank thank you. And you're like, that's I really got to say, you had a lot of guts. Not too many guys do it. And when you hear stuff like that, that kind of like makes you be like, oh, hey, I'm different from all the other guys.
right. Yeah, I mean, when they say they're married or they have a boyfriend. I mean, it can be a shit test too. I mean,
Yeah, well, I
well,
still do.
I usually just say I don't care. Give me your number.
Yeah,
And
exactly. No, yeah, exactly.
I don't give a fuck. Um, Give me your number. It is what it is. Some of them come true, some of them don't. But
That's
Nick
true.
says thoughts on approaching women in groups. Is it weird to ask for multiple girls' numbers in the group?
Well, you probably. unless you're trying to meet up with the girls like all later on. Say you're out at the club and you're gonna go all want to meet up later on. You could probably go for one or two. But if you're just like trying to sleep with all of them, I mean, I don't know. I guess, but I would normally just go for one. I just go for the one number normally when I'm doing that. What is your thought on that, Mac?
I would say just the bolder you are, the better.
Okay,
Bold,
so
yeah.
new
Like
challenge for me next month. Then on my thing now, I should vlog. Like,
there's been times when I've like approached two girls and I've gotten you know both their numbers, hit up both of them and then ended up only banging one of them. So like it's like, what if I only got the one that wasn't gonna bang me? So I was
mhm.
better off getting both. So I got both their numbers. I ended up banging one of them, and then I didn't bang the other. She didn't. The other one didn't respond. But that's happened multiple times. So, in my opinion, get as many as you can. It's a numbers game, so
But
more leads the better.
can I tell you? Can I tell you my online dating story? Because it involves like my daytime approaching that I recently did.
Yeah,
This is such a fucked up story.
go for
So
it, man.
I met this girl on Bumble like probably like a week or two ago. And, like I don't know, like she. I kind of at first I was like screw it because I could tell this girl's like just kind of flaky and stuff. And then we made plans to I guess we made plans to get together. And like so she actually I just we were gonna go for drinks and everything, but it's like it's super hot out here where I'm at. It was like 115 degrees last week, so we made plans. She's like, I don't know. I'd like to just go for a swim and have some drinks. And sure enough, like so, as the day goes on, and I can tell, like, okay, she actually said, well, hey, why don't you come over to my place and we'll go have some drinks and go in the pool at my place. And so day goes on, and then I kind of got the vibe that she was gonna flake. So I was like, because like I asked for directions, she didn't give me the address or anything, and like eventually like she so it's around 6 o'clock, she's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. So I'm like, oh, I knew that. So anyways, funny thing was though, so I said to her too, I said, well, if you can't be real and authentic with me, I don't want to talk to you. And so the funny thing was, I was on Sunday, I was out at this outdoor mall by my place I was just getting some coffee, cold brew, and doing some approaches and stuff, and looking to meet for some girls and everything. And sure enough, this is so fucked up. I actually approached this same girl who faked me. I didn't even know it was her, but she told me, "Do you know who this is?" And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, remember we were supposed to go out because she looked different, on her in person than she did on her photo.
Okay.
And but we ended up talking and stuff, and I said I really wasn't disappointed. I was more because she was talking about the special beer that she had. I was more disappointed that I was like, all confident and cocky. I'm like, I was more disappointed about not having that beer that you said you had than seeing you. Just fucking being playful. And like, sure enough, I said to her, well, if you can learn to like be respectful and treat me like a, real person, and I'll give you some of my time. And she's like, okay, cool. And it's so fucking weird. Like this girl, like texted me like maybe an hour later. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe how confident you are.
All right.
Like that really made me want to like change the way I treat you. And she's been fucking blowing up my phone, just wanting to say hi to this and that. So isn't that like an odd story though?
But I believe it. It's like, I mean, there's I've had similar stories. I mean, I've hooked up with multiple chicks who I didn't match on the dating app. But like I've seen them on dating app, I swipe right and they didn't match with me. By the way, I'm not using dating apps right now. But yeah, and then in real life I saw the same girl, cold approach, got the number, arranged a date, smashed. So it's just the power of cold approach is cannot be underestimated, man. It really cannot.
Yeah, exactly. And when everything was gone awry, like the past year, I got so hooked on the dating apps because I just having a lot of success on that. I kind of disregarded, like I didn't really put that much time into the cold approach and like the social stuff because it was like everyone's just like freaking out and everything's closed. And now with everything's kind of back to normal here where I'm at, and it's like nothing ever happened, which is awesome. Clubs are opening up again. People are walking around with no mask. It's like, hell yeah. And now I just decided recently too, like I'm cutting back on the dating apps because like in the end, doing the cold approach is where you want to be, because that's, I mean, it's going to take time. I don't say don't give up on the dating apps, but you may want to motivate yourself to go out there and do the cold approach, because this is going to, I think like the cold approach is not only you're going to be able to meet more women in person, but it's going to help you grow as an individual and change, and you're going to have a new perspective on life, and you're going to be more confident, and you're going to think, and you're just going to be like, holy shit, I'm that one guy who can just walk up to any stranger and say, talk to her and close her and then have sex with her later.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Nick has an interesting question. What does it mean when they start to bring up their ex on a date? I'll let you go for that one.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I normally, when a girl brings that up, I don't like to talk about that. Let's just focus on us. I mean, I don't really, if she brings it up, I'm like, this is taboo discussion. I'd rather just be focusing on us. I mean, but I mean, if she continues to talk about like exes, like, and can't stop talking about it, shows that she's probably not over her ex. But, I don't work. I just blunt with her. I'm just like, I don't want, we're here together. We don't need to talk about that, and you don't need to know anything about my past history. We're in the present. We're having a moment together, trying to get to know one another, not talk about our past relationships.
In my opinion, it's a shit test, and it's very disrespectful. And out of all the all the data that I've gathered over the years, it's a bad sign. It's a red flag. It's a sign that she's not that interested in you. Because if she was very interested in you, she wouldn't go near talking about her ex. So anytime if a bitch brings up her ex, I'm all I know is that it's a bad sign, and
yeah, that could be a bad sign.
I would be like, oh, why the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's a hard one to answer, because it's like you don't want to come across as being butthurt. You don't ever want to come across as being shook by anything, by any of these bitches. But you kind of maybe let them know, like, why the fuck you bring it? Why are you talking to me about your fucking ex? But it's a bad sign. Basically, why I said, because if they were really interested in you, they'd be worried about bringing up their ex, because they wouldn't want to like discourage you, or like, because a lot of guys don't like want to know about girls' exes, and the girl chicks know that they're very well aware of that. So yeah, just it's a bad sign. Make sure you don't invest too much time in a bitch that starts bringing up her ex, right? Even if she's nice. I tell guys, what do you think about this, Robert? I tell guys, even if you're having a good time, you should be trying to close after an hour. So I mean, if a bitch is disrespectful and starts bringing up her ex and is pining, because it's happened to me. I've had this happen before, and it's usually more often than not resulted in sex. So I've gathered the data. It's a bad sign. So I always, if those kind of things start cropping up, I'll start trying to close like real soon, because I'll know it's like this is not a good return on investment in terms of time. So what do you think of that?
No, yeah, and that's true. Like you want to when they're talking about X, and also you kind of want to like kind of work on the close within an hour, because if she's not, that's how you can tell her interest level right away. I mean, you work, because I know sometimes when I've worked on escalating, just kind of being more sexual, like some girls are down for it, others not. And I found that the ones who were down for it were more likely to go home with you on the same day, within an hour and a half. But yeah, definitely like, yeah, if you hear stuff about like exes or some other drama stuff, definitely kind of like Mac was saying, work on that. I normally I try to avoid that. Like I kind of, I don't know, like when I'm on my dates, I'm just kind of more in the moment, and I just kind of work from there. And so I can't really, you'd have to see me on a date just to kind of get an idea of what that's like. Because I'm just like I don't have no strategy, but my goal is to see if I can get her to come home. But I have my own way of doing it, and it's about the energy I give up. It's about the
To be honest,
fun that I bring to the conversation. Yeah, what?
let me tell you how bad I think it is when a chick brings up her ex. For example, I don't recommend guys go on dinner dates in the first place. But let's just say you're on a dinner date with a bitch and she starts bringing up her ex. You split that fucking bill. You don't pay for that bitch's dinner because trust me, you're not. It's not going to make a difference. I'm pretty solid on this one. If a bitch brings up her ex on a date, is the chances of having sex with her pretty low. Her interest in you is low. So like first of all, don't be going on dinner dates, but let's just say you are. That's my advice. That's my advice for now is
I
like
gotta give you guys
split that fucking bill. Like
I gotta
split
give bit
that
of advice
fucking
too
bill.
because I've done this a couple times where I will tell a girl, I make the plan that we're meeting for drinks. I'm clear what I'm saying. Then when we get to the place, she's like, "Have you had dinner yet?" So I'm like, "No, I've already eaten." But she's like, "Well, I'm gonna get something." And you know what? So I'm like, "Oh, when the bill comes, I'm like, yep, put the food on her plate, and I got the drinks." I mean, the bill not to
Absolutely.
her for the food to her
Yeah.
because like that will happen sometimes. Like that's happened to me like a few times, and I'll just be honest. I'm like I didn't eat dinner, and if the girl, and I no one's giving me shit about it. Like I just like saying, oh, I just like tell the waitress like I'll put the food on her bill, and like, and it's weird because those never end up turning out any good because she probably wanted a meal, but the ones that but I think I may have had one time it happened, and like one girl said to me after the no, didn't she led me on to believe she was interested, and then she's like, you're different from all the other guys. Well, yeah, because I know what I'm getting myself into.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Matt says, spot on. Yeah, dinner for a girl is for a girl you already smashed. It's a reward, 100%
Mm.
facts. That is what it is. I mean, like no one wants to smash on a full stomach anyway. They haven't earned it. I mean, coffee and drinks is fine. I mean, and plus, if you go for drinks with a girl, you're not going out to get drunk with her. Keep that in mind. Do you want to get drunk or do you want to have sex? Obviously, you want to have sex. Some guys go out having drinks with a girl and they have 10 fucking drinks. What are you doing? Like, why are you getting like? Do you want to smash or do you want to fuck? Like, you have one or two drinks, two drinks
Yeah.
max. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like close after an hour. So guys going out spending 2-3 hours on a date. What are you doing? Like what? Why? What are you doing? Like, what are you working up to? Spending those extra hours on dates isn't going to be the make or break of it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right, man. Like, plus,
An hour is plenty.
yeah, exactly. And that's normally how I work it. I do it within an hour. I don't like to just sit around at the bar the entire night. When that hour is coming up, I will be working on saying, it's weird because sometimes too, like the girls will ask like where do I live, and I'm like, oh, I'm just about 2 minutes down the road. So I kind of use that as a leeway, to kind of say like, okay, let's go back to my place and hang out, and then I kind of, I talk about my dog, I talk about my artwork, I talk to them about my channel, I talk to them about like my guitar. Well, they know I play guitar because I got a photo of me playing the guitar, like, on the dating profile at least. And or maybe I'll mention something about that in the conversation, and then like I'll mention something about me that's awesome, and then so that way I can use it later on to like invite her back to my place.
Right. Cool. Matt's on fire with the comments tonight. Says I'm
Yeah,
ready.
no, man.
Nice man equals I'm not really attracted to nice men. Be like the ex. I can't stop thinking about it. It's pretty much spot on, man. Like I gotta don't listen to what chicks say. Listen to what they've done and what they do. This is it's just like women just like they don't mean what most of the time they don't mean what they say. I mean, look at what they fucking do. Like, oh man, it's just funny. It's just
No,
hilarious.
and that's true. I've always thought that actions speak louder than words. So I kind of, you got to like look at how the girl's acting towards you and the actions that she's doing, and like you can pretty much calibrate, like if she's interested or not. But yeah, like you will get like lied to a lot. I'm not saying all the time, but some girls are going to do that, and you kind of have to be in order to like kind of what you gotta do is develop your own test to see if see how she reacts to certain things too. That's another way you can just deal with and see if person's a time waster or not. That's what I learned. You got to be comfortable with that and not like think about like what she's gonna think. You just got to, because your time is valuable. Like I got like a design business I do, and I'm doing my YouTube channel, and I host like
Yeah.
events. I got my own life, and I don't want to waste my time with someone who's not interested in me. And that's why I encourage you guys to like not make women the focus of your life, have other stuff so you can actually, because when you do that, like you're not gonna you're gonna be able to do all this stuff, be more confident in yourself, and you're going to deal with all this BS more easily.
Right.
It'll make you more confident to take these actions.
Cool. Cool. This we'll leave this the last comment. Nick K says, "Are some girls not just normally not very touchy? I've been going on 2 dates with this one girl, and by the end of the second date, we made out. By the third date, if we are not smashing, should I move on? You want to go for that?"
Well, yeah, very good question. Well, I've noticed like some when you try to be flirty with a girl through touch and everything, and they use that as an excuse, and they're just saying it's not interested. But you can actually go in like I don't know, like it's just weird because like one time this other girl who I met like for the first time at one of my events, like I was getting a little close, and she's like, "Oh, I don't like to get all touchy." And then, but I got the number anyways. But then she ended up flaking. Like I invited her out, and she gave me some excuse like, "Oh, I'm not looking for anything too serious right now. I'm not into dating." And I'm like, "Well, who said I was?" And I saw this girl a month later at the same event, and like I said, I just was going around. And we were at like a nightclub and everything, and I was just like, I didn't even I forgot who she was. It's funny. So but I was just confident, calm, and you know, just myself. And it's weird because like she actually hit me up like a week later asking if we were going anywhere. So and eventually she was giving me more BS like and flaked. And I said, well, hey, listen, I don't want to waste my time. I'm giving one last chance just to be real with me because I don't want to waste my time. I don't think you're being authentic with me. And, like sometimes you just got to like speak, speak your truth to the girl, like not in a mean manner, but just say, hey, like I'm just because they will give you a lot of like tests and everything like just to see who you are, to see if you're are able to if you're saying you are who you are, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes like maybe at first like she cannot maybe she might be testing you, maybe she's just saying she's not into touch you guys because she may be testing you, but maybe just like hold back a bit and maybe see what happens the next time you do it. The second time, I'd say after the third time, like normally if I go out on the third date with a girl and nothing happens, like I move on. But I haven't really had that because I've just been, like I said, working on being more authentic and direct. So I kind of go for the first date lays, and
Right.
the girls who are down and end up being like longer term plates are the ones who I end up sleeping with on the first dates. The ones who are not, I mean, I don't remember the last. I just because I know what I want, and I just like I don't know, the ones who haven't been responsive on the first date, I never usually see
Right.
again.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just give my first 2 cents on that.
Okay.
So you should always try to be close on the first date. On the first date, you should try to be close to physical barrier as soon as possible. Like even when I cold approach, I extend my hand. I even kind of massage their hand. I try and like close the distance. ASAP, you close the physical barrier. If you're going on dates with a girl and you haven't even touched them on the whole date, that's bad. Like that is like, that's a bad sign. I mean, you know, it's this 3 date rule, 3 strikes and you're out. I mean, first of all, like same with you, Robert. If I don't smash on the first date, usually I never see them again because I'm trying to close. Like it's not like I'm trying to smash on the first date. So if they don't
Mhm.
smash, I there has to be some kind of excuse. It can't be like, oh, I just don't smash on the first date kind of thing. It can't be that.
Mhm.
Um, there has to be some reason. Like you either click or you don't. So personally, it's unlikely that I'm going to go on a second date. It's like it's to be honest, it's unlikely they're going to want to go. Even I'm not going to go on a second date. They're not going to go on a date with me because the cat's out of the bag. I've shown my cards. I've tried to smash. They know I'm going to try and smash on the second date. But if you're going to do this properly, it's three strikes and you're out. And after the third date, they're permanently relegated to Netflix and chill. They can't meet you anywhere else other than your house, and that's if they're lucky. Because personally, I don't have the patience for it. Um, you know, but that's a good rule to play by. Like if you're not smashing by the third date, you're getting played. Like she's playing you. She's fucking you. You're not fucking her. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Like,
she's getting free dates out of you, and you're what? You're not even getting a fucker. Like please, like come on, like there's yeah. And how old is this chick? It depends. Like if she in her late 20s, like she's definitely giving it up for free, and you're just paying extra for it. And it's like what the fuck, like
mhm,
um. Nah, man, that's you gotta, I think we're on the same page, me and you, Robert, three strikes and you're out, definitely.
mhm.
And I'm like you. I mean, if we don't smash on the first date, there has to be a reason for it. I mean, usually I don't see them again because I've shown my cards. Like I've definitely tried to close, like because I'm not going on dates, wasting my time. I don't go on dates unless I have time to smash. I don't go on wasteful dates. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I don't go on like dates where I only have like a lunch date or where it's on my work break and I can only have a coffee and no, I don't waste time like that. Um, but yeah, man, I think we've had a good old chat.
Yeah,
Want
exactly,
to
man.
any closing remarks?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was gonna say, guys, whatever, when you're trying to become confident with women, just realize it's gonna take time. And yes, you are gonna like have that anxiety to approach them, but like if you can learn to like challenge yourself to overcome that, the more you do it, and just let I'm gonna tell you guys, like when you start doing the approaches, if you're new to it, you're gonna screw up, you're gonna make some mistakes, but the more you do it, the more you're gonna just like level up and kick ass. And like there's always, I mean, just keep on pushing through even through the tough times, and realize that believe that you can do it, and like even when times are tough. Because and I would say too, like figure out what your biggest fears are when it comes to approaching women. Like, if you're afraid to talk to the hot ones, maybe you should go start off with talking to the hot ones. But like we were talking about earlier, you approach the girls that you find attractive, because everyone's different and everything.
100%. Don't give
And
a
yeah,
fuck. It's the same.
exactly. And so, yeah, guys, that's it. And if you like what I'd like to invite you over to my YouTube channel. Can I paste a link in here, Mac? Or
Yeah, paste it in.
I'm going to put it in the private chat here, and then maybe you can put it in your chat room. So yeah,
Okay.
guys, check me out on my YouTube channel, Command Your Confidence. I do a lot of stuff when it comes to mindset and kind of working on some of the setbacks that people are having. I've done some interviews with other people on, like I've done some interviews with Afi Kingdom and Thor, and when we talk about like meeting women and stuff like that, and the right mindsets that I have when meeting women. But we also talk about like working on yourself and developing your best self, because to become good at women, you have to become good at mastering yourself and your mind and your emotions and the way you perceive reality, because that is key to like getting this area of your life handled. And once you can like, and once you can do this, you can achieve anything in your life. So yeah, so check me out on my YouTube channel, Command Your Confidence, and also I'm on Instagram at Command Confidence. That's at Command Confidence. I post a lot of motivational stuff up on there. And I'll leave it to you, Mac.
Yeah, man, 100%. It was a great chat. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was.
It's what
Have
you're,
to do this again.
you got to handle yourself before you handle, you start handling women. Handle your insecurities, handle your emotions, handle all that kind of stuff. Because unfortunately, women can read into it. If you're insecure, if you have issues, if you're easily offended, if you've a thin skin, women will see into those insecurities, and it's a big turn off. So you just got to face into your fears and deal with them, and
Yeah.
you know,
And one
not.
more thing I want to say to that, and I'm gonna tell you guys too, because I've had my moments where, like, I felt confident when I made my approaches, and like sometimes you're even though when you get good at this, you're not gonna feel confident but you got to do your approaches anyways. But I realized you get when you feel confident and you believe in yourself and you're more authentic. Like no, I seriously realized the response you get during the interaction with a woman is like totally different from what you'd be doing when you don't believe in yourself and you're not authentic. And to get there, you have to like just continue, keep at it and keep pushing forward and trying new things. And like I said, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get at this, and the more you'll learn about yourself and develop your authentic game.
Excellent, great stuff, man. Yeah, man. So we'll have to do it again, man. We'll
Yeah, I know. I had a great time. It was like blast. It just went by very fast. And I'm glad. Thank you guys too for your questions. They were really good, and we'd like to help. We'd like to answer them for you again some other day too.
All right, peace out, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night for another episode of Player Light, 6 a.m. Central Time. So catch you guys on the next show. Peace out. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Peace, guys.